Hi everyone, Al the Psych here. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about introversion and extroversion. Young really brought this up, distinguished between the two, talked a lot about personality types. I'm just going to talk a little bit about introversion and extroversion, like I said. Um, Now, as I look at my notes, introverts are people who prefer their internal world of thoughts, feelings, fantasies, dreams, so on, while extroverts prefer the external world of things and people and activities and stimulation, things like that. Um, so, introverts and extroverts, they differ in the level of outside stimulation that they need to function well, and in terms of how they feel. I'm not going to talk about omniverts. Really, what I do is I look at um, introversion, extroversion on a continuum. So you're not going to be, 100% introvert. You're not going to be 100% extrovert. More than likely, you're going to fall somewhere uh, on that continuum. You might lean way toward one side or the other. I know I lean on way over toward introvert. Um, but it doesn't mean that I don't want some level of stimulation that like extroverts prefer. Okay, so again, think of it as being on a continuum. I think that helps. So introverts feel just right with less stimulation. This would be more like they prefer to kick back, maybe sit back and be with a close friend, listen to music. Drink a beer, read a book, stuff like that. That's much less stimulating than um, what an extrovert might prefer to do. So if you're an introvert, you might prefer to, kick back on the beach and just take in, the sights, look at the waves, or watch the dolphins. And the extroverts would probably prefer to, be on a cruise ship and partying and slamming drinks and things like that. Um, Now, introverts prefer to devote their social energies to close friends. Typically, have maybe a few close friends and like to be with family. Um, they listen more than they talk. They think before they speak. Um, and often feel as if they express themselves better in writing uh, than in conversation because you want to stop and think and get your thoughts down concisely or accurately. Typically, the introverts don't like conflict, and many of them don't like small talk, but they do enjoy deep discussions. Now, one of the things I want to mention is introversion and shyness are not the same thing. So, shyness is a fear of social disapproval or humiliation. Uh, Introversion is just more of a preference for environments that are not overstimulating. So, shyness, is inherently painful, really uncomfortable to be in a particular situation if you're shy. Introversion is not painful. Okay. So again, if you're introverted, that does not necessarily mean that you're shy. Now, extroverts, they like that extra bang for the buck, so to speak. From activities in terms of like meeting new people, cranking up the stereo. Um, so when an introvert is getting tired from being at a party, an extrovert is just kind of gaining energy and feeding off all that stimulation that's occurring at the party. Now again, it doesn't mean that if you're an introvert, you don't like going to the party. Remember, it's not all or none, black or white, yes or no. There are shades of gray, and you're on a continuum uh, somewhere. It's just that the extroverts really do tend to gain more energy from all that stimulation. Introverts tend to get a little bit more tired from all that energy. So let's move forward a little bit now. Catherine Briggs and daughter Isabel Briggs Myers developed a test to determine what type of personality you are. It's the Myers-Briggs type indicator. And there's also the 16 personality factors, the 16 PF, that's similar to the Myers-Briggs. And, based on information that they kind of basically gathered from what Jung had brought up. Now, I recently took a free online test, the 16 PF, and I reconfirmed my personality type. I've done this before, but it's always kind of fun to take it, see if you're still falling in the same dimension, so to speak. So what my personality type, INTJ, which stands for introverted, intuitive, thinking, and judging. Okay. Now you can go online and you can just go through this and you'll get all kinds of information about what that means. Now I did write down a couple little notes in terms of a quick summary of what that means for me, kind of like pros and cons. The test I took really kind of lays out in terms of like where you fall on the introversion scale. You remember I talked about it being a continuum. I think I was like 75% over toward the introversion scale. Anyway, you can check that out. But I was an INTJ-A, actually, which stands for architect. So as I look at this, I was looking at the strengths and weaknesses, and as I look at this, it sounds pretty valid. The strengths are dependable, reliable, loyal, committed to their responsibilities. It's what the INTJs are, and I'm thinking this is pretty accurate. Independent, ambitious, inquisitive, flexible, rational, problem solving, pragmatic. So I think that kind of sounds like me. But there are some weaknesses that it kind of addresses too. So now that it says what does pedantic mean? Is this critical? Ignores emotions, superiority complex, really? Imbalance, like work over personal matters. Well, okay, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to check the validity of this test after having read that. But anyway, it might be something that you would like to do. So it was online. It was free. The personality types are always kind of fun to do, and it's good information as well. It might kind of give you an idea of where you fall if you take the test. So I hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you later.